Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. I'm glad you're here with me today. I hope you're having a great week. You know, today I'm really excited. I'm getting really close to approaching my second marriage. Very excited about that, and feeling really blessed to be in love and to be loved and to have a second chance at that wonderful experience. So today I wanted to talk about, because it's on my mind, how to have a healthy marriage, how to have a healthy relationship, how to keep the relationship healthy and thriving the rest of our lives. Because isn't that always the goal, right? When we're getting married. And really, isn't it the goal in all of our relationships? How do we keep them healthy? What can we do? And so years ago, I developed this concept of radically healthy relationships, because radical means far-reaching, thorough, affecting the fundamental nature of something, complete, total, major, profound. And so I like that word. So I made a list of qualities of radical relationships. And I want to share with those with you today. And to be, fully honest, I strive for these in all my relationships, but I fail at times at these. I mean, some of these are a work in progress for me, given individual situations, but it's something to strive for. And it's something I certainly want to approach my marriage with, is the idea in mind to keep these qualities at the forefront of my behavior and our lives as much as possible, on the good days and the not so good days, right? So anyway, so let's talk about these qualities of a radically healthy relationship. Number one, see where you're at, see how you're doing, do a little check your pulse on these. Total acceptance. Total acceptance. I will never forget, as long as I live, when I lived in Iowa, and one of my very dear friends, his name is Cheryl, and she was married to a man named Jim. She's deceased now, but anyway, she was one of my closest friends, and she and Jim were married all until her death. And they had different religions, they had different political leanings, they had different, they were really different people, lovely people, but very different people. And I asked her once, I said, how do you guys make that work when you're like really different people and have different, value systems and approaches and things about different things? And she said, total acceptance, Cindy. We totally accept each other. And I was like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Boy, did I take note of that, right? And I know if I wouldn't have judged my first husband so much, our lives would have been smoother. And if he wouldn't have judged me so much, but we brought judgment fully into our relationship, in my opinion. So anyway, so part of having radically healthy relationships is totally accepting another person, whether it's your friend, it's your family member, it's your colleague, it's your spouse, whoever it is. So, okay, so that's number one. And by the way, let's totally accept ourselves while we're at it, shall we? Okay, number two, keeping agreements. Okay, we could talk all day about each and every one of these, honestly, but I'm just going to briefly touch on each of them. So keeping agreements, that's about following through on your word. That's about being, trustworthy, dependable, reliable. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're not going to do something, don't do it. You want to keep your agreements. One of the biggest agreements that Ed and I are keeping is we believe in a monogamous relationship. That's our belief system. And that is an agreement we have that we will be, we will only be each other's, for the rest of our lives. And so that's just one of a gazillion probably agreements that we have. Okay, number 3, instant forgiveness. Ooh, okay, take a breath. Take a breath with me, everybody. Instant forgiveness. Now, this would be radical, wouldn't it? This is radical when we can do this. Let's say someone just hurts our feelings or something, we say something that maybe isn't the best or whatever we do, right? Whatever we fall short in some way. We all do it. I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it. And what if in a relationship, we instantly forgave the other person? Wow. Like, wow. I don't know if I've ever done it. I've tried. I've been aware of the need. I think I've forgiven everyone, everyone for anything eventually, but instantly, oof, I don't know, but wouldn't it be freeing for us all if we could instantly forgive ourselves and other people in our relationships when things go in a way that, that doesn't feel good. So it's something to strive for. I will say this, forgiveness is very, very healthy. It feels so good. It feels so important. And we are all better off when we can do it. So it's something to strive for in your life. If you haven't done it, if you don't know how to do it, I would learn how to do it. And I can teach on that sometime. Maybe I have. I have many times over the years, but I don't know if I ever have on this podcast just yet. I can't remember. Too many episodes to remember, but let me know if that's something you really want me to dive heavily in, because I know it's hard. Okay, number 4, constant appreciation. Constant appreciation. I'm telling you, you're probably sick of me saying it. If you've been listening to this podcast, I talk about gratitude all the time. Appreciation in our relationships is so important. Even if for the 100th time they've taken out the trash, even for if the millionth time they've unloaded the dishwasher, thank them. Okay. Ed and I are kind of funny. We usually share the responsibilities of making dinner and cleaning it up or whatever often. Sometimes I do the whole thing because he's out doing something else or for us or, whatever. Anyway, but we will sit down at a meal, a dinner that I've made part of it and he's made part of it. And I will say, oh, thank you, honey, this dinner's delicious. And he'll say, well, thank you, honey, this dinner's delicious. Well, it's just, I really enjoy this. Thank you. And it may sound silly, but you can't overappreciate another person, right? We can't overappreciate what people are doing or the roles they're playing, the gestures they're making, the efforts they're making. And it's wonderful to feel appreciated. So give it out, people. Generously appreciate others constantly. Okay, the next one, conflict free. Whoa, conflict free. Is that even possible, Cindy? You might be saying. Well, here's what I mean by that. I don't know that it is ever possible for any two people, whether you're married, your friends, your colleagues, your family, whatever your relationship is. I don't know if it's possible for it to be conflict free every minute that you know each other. But what I mean by that is, we often as humans, I've done it too, make things into a problem. Just think about that for a second. Take a breath and think about what problems do you create that don't necessarily have to be problematic. I've done this. I have definitely done this. So, we can disagree with others. We can have different perspectives. We can see a whole situation in completely opposite ways, but it doesn't mean we have to have a conflict. It doesn't mean there has to be arguing. It doesn't mean there has to be yelling. It doesn't mean there has to have to be going off to your corners and brewing and, and so forth for a while. It doesn't have to mean that. It could mean that we learn and to understand one another better. It could mean that we learn another perspective on a situation. It could mean that we live with people and love people regardless of how they view things or how they, how they see things differently than we do. I think we call that peace on earth, right? So whatever you can do to be peaceful in your relationships and remove the element of conflict, knowing that, and another way to look at it in a situation too is, one of the number one causes of divorce, the research says in America, is money issues. Okay. So instead of thinking it's me against my partner about our money issues, you could say it's me and my partner over here and money over there. Like it's you and me together and this money thing over here. You see the difference? Instead of you and me and our money problems, like, no, we're the team over here. And the issue is, oh, we want to manage money. So how do we work with that? That sounds more conflict free than, oh, he's a spender and I'm a saver, or he likes to give charitably and I don't, or, that he's got credit card debt and I don't, or he believes in saving for retirement and I don't, or, just whatever it is. So keeping yourself conflict free means just learning to, when there's differences, to strive to understand more deeply and then bring in that acceptance piece and not turn everything into a problem, a quote unquote problem. Okay. Next one, complete honesty. Ooh, okay. Now, if I get dressed for, we went out the other night to a fundraiser and I got all dressed up and I said, oh, how do I look, honey? And he said, you look beautiful. Good answer, Ed. Thank you. Now, I think he probably really did think I looked beautiful, but what if he didn't? Would I want him to say, oh, you look not great? I don't want that kind of honesty, right? In that moment, probably not. Do you? I don't. Just tell me I'm beautiful and let's go. Okay, I hope y'all are laughing with me about this, but but what I mean here, honestly, no, okay, what I mean here is to tell the truth faster in your relationships about, what's happening for you in the relationship. Okay, tell the truth faster if you can, and be honest, because we want to deal with life for real, like what's really happening. Now, I know this can be difficult. Like I have relationships in my life that I have over the decades, tried to be completely honest about how I feel, what I need, what's important to me, what I'm experiencing, being in relationships with certain people in my life and so forth. And sometimes people aren't receptive to those conversations. Sometimes they're not available. Sometimes I don't think they have the emotional capacity to join you in that kind of relationship evaluation and conversation and so forth. But nonetheless, I think it's important to strive for honesty in your relationships as best you can. And then if you feel like you've beat a dead horse for too long, then okay. But let's be real, let's be honest. Now, there are times in my life too, and right now is one of them, that I have some things I need to deal with in some relationships, but I'm putting them off on purpose until after I get married, because the last few weeks, before getting married, I want all my emotional energy, all of that to be offered to this transition, to this very important commitment Ed and I are making, and so forth. And I do not want to distract myself from that with drama with other people, or, things that might need to be cleaned up. And so I'm purposely holding off on some things, but I'm not going to be completely honest. It's just I'm waiting. And so there might be at times where you think the timing for I share that only to say there might be a timing issue where you feel like it's important to um, be timely with your honesty and so forth. And sometimes we need time too to get clearer about where we're at with how we're feeling, with what we're experiencing, before we can come to the conversation in full honesty. So again, the best relationships you have, the healthiest ones you have, are the ones where you can be real, you can be yourself, you can tell the truth, and you can listen to the truth from the other people. Okay. It's something very important. All right. Another quality of a radically healthy relationship is 100%, not 90, not 50, not 75, 100% emotional, physical, and sexual safety. 100%. I'm telling you, if you feel unsafe in any way in a relationship, then I hope you're questioning the relationship. I really do. I want you to feel 100% safe emotionally, physically, and sexually. Okay. So please set that as your standard. Please set that as your standard. It doesn't mean at times we're not going to get emotionally triggered in our relationships, or feel misunderstood sometimes, or go through things in relationships. It's not all rainbows and unicorns for most people in most relationships, because that human factor comes in. But safety is a whole nother level. Okay, so please have that be your standard. Okay, next one, healthy boundaries. We're just about through this list. Healthy boundaries. Boundaries, of course, are borders, lines, limits you put on all kinds of things in your life to feel healthy. And so a healthy boundary in a relationship can be anything from how much time or effort am I putting into this relationship, to, who in my life do I loan money to or not, or what behavior is allowed in my home and what behavior is not allowed in my home, to, who can touch me physically in our relationships and who cannot, to who do I tell my secrets to and who do I not. I mean, there's so many, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It's very important in your relationships for them to be healthy, for you to be healthy in them, to have boundaries that really represent your comfort level, your intentions for your life and in your relationships. And then you need to communicate those in one way or another so people understand, or at least they've been informed, whether they understand or respect them or not. Okay, and then the last one I would say is a wonderful quality of a radically healthy relationship is that you're always evolving. You're always growing, evolving, right? Okay, I mean, it doesn't have to be, let's personally grow together every minute of our relationship. If we haven't done some personal growth together today, we're failing. That's not it. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that you feel like the relationship is moving along in life with you. Like you're transforming as you transform your relationships, sort of come along with you in a healthy way. You're not stuck in the past in your relationships with other people. You're allowed to grow. They're allowed to grow and evolve. And it keeps it exciting. It keeps it interesting. We don't want to keep people stuck in who they were 30 years ago if they're truly different people now. Sometimes people don't change, but sometimes they do. And so let's let people be who they are now, right? And let them evolve and let ourselves evolve in ways that are really, really healthy. So those are 9 qualities of radical relationships that I want to bring to my upcoming marriage. I hope I already am in our relationship together, or at least intentionally, most of the time, striving for this, right? I love you, Ed, and my other relationships as well. So I hope this has been encouraging for you today, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with those that you think would also benefit from what we're doing here. And I will talk to you again soon.